Midweek conversation. Oh, we are so happy to be here. If this is your first time, welcome. We are three YouTube vloggers who just love to get together for a good chat. I'm Lisa from A Life Full of Meaning. I'm here with Maxine from Never Too Late, Our Journey, and Paul from Narrowboat Life Unlocked. And if you're returning, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So this week we're talking Christmas. I mean, we can't avoid it, can we? It's everywhere. So we're going to be talking all the stuff we love and also the darker side of Christmas, the stuff that gets in the way, the stuff that drives us crazy. But before we do that, let's just catch up because we haven't chatted for 10 weeks now? 10 weeks? 10 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Feels like 10 weeks. Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So, what have we been up to? Paul, do you want to go first?
Yeah, well, I've had all my school magic shows, which have been fantastic. There's been about 200 children at each show, and just to hear them laughing and gasping, and it sort of gave me that buzz that I have when we have that conversation. It just fills you with joy, really, seeing the kids enjoy them and believing in the magic. They even talk to the puppets after the show in the bag, like the real.
That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely. It must also be good to be finished with the Christmas show. Do you get that sort of on your last one? You think that's it?
Yeah, it's like, I can't believe. So I get stressed every year in the run up to December, thinking how many shows I've got. Will I lose my voice? Will I get man flu? Will I get through them all? Will I be stuck in traffic? What will the weather be like? And then when it's all over, I think, why did I worry? It was fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Maxine, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
Still decluttering and selling lots of furniture. We're down onto deck chairs now. We've got the dining table. And in fact, we're into the dining room now because we've got no furniture in the lounge whatsoever. So we're basically camping in the house. And we've been to visit Never Too Late as well to see how she's getting on, and she's looking really good. So it's all systems go for January for when we leave the house.
That's like, it's not long now, is it? It's not long now. So, that is so exciting. So much to look forward to in the new year. So what have I been up to? I don't know, really. I mean, I've obviously started my new job. I've done late shifts and I did an early shift. And all of that has been good. I'm getting used to it. I poured my first pint ever, and I was so proud of myself. I'd never pulled a pint before, like 50 years old, and I'd never pulled a pint, but I did it, and I was super chuffed with myself, to be honest. So
good.
Anyway, been getting ready for Christmas and all the chaos that goes with it. So let's do it then. Christmas. Are you a lover or a hater of Christmas, Maxine?
I like Christmas. I wouldn't say I would love it, but that's just because of my past and everything, because of losing Liz, really, because it was all around Lizzie. So now I have a very different Christmas. And so I enjoy it and enjoy getting the family together. But we don't celebrate it like we used to. This year we're going away to Yorkshire for the Christmas with my parents and my brother, and we'll be going out walking Christmas Day and then having a nice meal later on. And that's the way we celebrate it. It's just making sure we spend time with quality people, sort of thing.
Yeah, quality time with quality people. That's a great recipe for a good Christmas. What about you, Paul? Because this, if I'm right, is your second year on board, is it?
Yeah. It is, yeah. I used to love Christmas, and now I think I'm all like Christmas. I do find it quite stressful, and especially like if you could see the boat now, I've got the tree up next to me and there's presents next to it, which look great, but then there's no room for anything else. So everything else is scattered on the dinette and the sofa, and the galley looks like it's not been cleaned for a week, and it was only clean yesterday. So as a person that likes minimalism, I find it quite stressful having all this clutter. Even the Christmas cards, that sounds really stingy, doesn't it? But, to be honest, I enjoy Christmas. I used to love it as a child and when I was younger. I did think when we move onto the boat and I'm doing less magic shows like I've done this year, I would find it much more relaxing. But it's still running around, panicking, wrapping presents at the last minute, and the stress of Christmas. Oh, I'm going on, aren't I? But
no, you're spot on, Paul.
Yeah.
You're spot on.
Yeah,
Even though you're doing less, you still feel as busy.
Yeah. And I must admit, so some of the things we'll do, I'll probably talk about later in the run up to Christmas, which I really enjoy. But I must admit, I feel a sense of joy when the Christmas tree's put away and all the Christmas cards are in recycling and it's back to how it was before Christmas.
I've got to say, I am exactly the same. So I love Christmas, not so much actually Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
Oh, wow.
Those 2 days, I've always thought, therefore, I see them much more for like my mum, Glenn's sister, who hasn't got any children. We've always spent Christmas with those 3 people without fail. And I see Christmas and Boxing Day very much for those people. When my kids were younger, I had them all the other days of the year. Do you know what I mean? So I was quite happy to go with the flow. If we were going here, if we were doing that, if they were cooking dinner, I was always, I'll do whatever and, have a lovely time. So that was always the way it's been. I have a tendency to take the Christmas cards down and the Christmas tree and basically pack it all away by the 27th, usually by about 10 a.m. By 10 a.m, that's it. Still Christmassy, still loving it. Put out all the clutter. So I'm exactly the same as you, Paul. I think we're twins, I really do.
I think so.
I tell you what I absolutely love about Christmas is all the stuff in the build-up, not the stressy stuff, all the stuff, the carol concerts, the parties, the friends, all of the loveliness of Christmas. I love all of that. So for me, Christmas Day and Boxing Day is just, it's not really the main event for me, which is, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
This year, it's been a bit different because all the parties cancelled, the things that we'd normally do postponed or cancelled or just not this year. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's just meant I'm not quite in that Christmas space yet. I keep having to remind myself, it is actually Christmas this weekend. So so that's me. Have you got any traditions or things that you do every year that you really love to do? Maxine, have you got any?
I haven't really anymore. No, we just literally go with the flow. I suppose I always spend time with my mum and dad. And we always have a Bucks Fizz. And a bacon sarnie. So I suppose that's probably about as much tradition. And we don't open the prezzies until we're all together. And then we just start opening the prezzies like that. But it's later on in the morning sort of thing when we do that. But so no proper tradition.
No. Paul, what about you? And has it changed since you've been on the boat?
Well, as you know, we've got more friends. And so it's quite nice seeing friends in the run up to Christmas. The Bickerstaff boat family all got together a few weeks ago and had a Christmas party, which used to be a tradition of Bickerstaff. They all used to meet at a pub called the Kicking Donkey. And we used to have a meal and drinks. And it was really good. And it was people who'd bought a boat, people who'd had a boat, and people like us who'd just ordered one. So it was really good to mix with those people and get to know everything about the boating community. Has it changed much? I think I still love, myself and Anthony, we still love watching Christmas films in the run up to Christmas.
We both do
I think that's probably one tradition we've got. And like yourself, that you've just said, Lisa, we used to try and go to a carol concert, and it wasn't every year, but we'd try and go. I used to go to a pantomime. When my nephews and nieces were little, I used to love taking them to the pantomime because you're supporting the theatre, and and it was a great thing to do, and a nice family tradition to go to the pantomime. But again, some of those have been cancelled, haven't they?
Yeah. But also, what I found is traditions change as if you've got children as they grow. So we used to have Christmas Eve traditions, and to be honest, Christmas Eve is my favourite day out of all of it. You know, Christmas Eve, I love it. And we had traditions when the kids were younger that we'd do every year for probably like 6 or 7 years. And, you know, we'd watch a Christmas film, we'd get some lovely bits in and open some of the chocolates. And, you know, we did that. And then we started going to the pantomime on Christmas Eve. We loved it. And we did that for, again, 5 or 6 years. And then they grow, they change. You know, my eldest daughter started work, and then we used to do an open house on Christmas Eve where we used to just invite our friends and neighbours and over and say, this is where we are, you know, come. And that was a tradition for many years. So those traditions sort of keep changing. There's one that we've rekindled this year, and I tell you, it's brought me so much joy and happiness. So I had a Christmas tree shaped cake tin. And every year when the kids were at school, I used to cook 4 of these big Christmas tree cakes, decorate them, and I used to take them in for the Christmas parties, you know, 1 for each child, 1 for each class, you know, and the kids loved it. Anyway, Harry rang me last week and he said, where's the Christmas tree tin? I was like, Harry, that went like when we moved. And Naomi said, it's not, I've got it.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, have you? And anyway, this week I went round there, made a Christmas tree cake with Naomi and the kids, and we had so much fun. I mean, it wasn't an Instagram perfect sort of event. There was eggs in there was kids licking the spoons. I mean, it was bloody chaos, to be honest. But the kids loved it. I loved it. And I thought, right, this is it. Every year, gonna do the Christmas tree cake. So I think sometimes we can mourn for Christmas traditions that we had as kids grow or change, or, you know, as things change. And I know, you know, my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they very much really want those same Christmases we had when the kids were younger. It's different now. They've gone, you know. So anyway, I can see loads of messages. Let me have a quick look. Is there any that you've spotted? Well, first of all, hello to everybody.
Yeah, hello.
Watching live. Hello and happy Christmas. I thought I'd be sleeping. So that's Linda. So she's joining us. Lots and lots of people saying hello. 9 p.m. in Korea. Hope everyone is ready for Christmas. Are we ready?
Wow.
I think we are.
Not right.
Someone else with me and you, Paul. Christmas decorations start disappearing on Boxing Day. Oh yeah, you know.
I think that's very early, isn't it? I think I usually do the 27th. I think I did last year, Lisa, to be honest.
Yeah, Judith's got it all going on. She's gonna, she's got it all going on there. Chilling by roaring fire at the moment. Oh, how wonderful! I'm sitting next to a radiator. It hasn't got the same effect. Going to start the VAT and bookwork. Finished all the preparations. Ready for Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you all.
That's not wonderful, Judith, and I admire your dedication, because I couldn't think of anything.
That is. Hello, Debbie in Wales. Debbie, I sent you a present last night and I forgot to put who it's from. If you get something random in the post from me.
No, it's not. It's from me and Maxine.
It's not. It's from me. Lots of people. Lots of people wishing us Merry Christmas. So Jackie says, I always go to Panto with my grandchildren. I spend alternate Christmases with my sons, always with my mum, and all get together at mine on Boxing Day. Sounds like you've got it sorted there, Jackie. to Trev. I love this from Trev. I will never take my Christmas decks down as I have not put any up. Oh, well, that's
Trev, we haven't this year. We've got nothing up.
And Kaz says, decks down 31st, so I can see the new year in with a clean and tidy house. I love it.
I like that idea.
I do love that feeling, just that clear feeling. Yeah. So
and can I just add, it's one of my pet peeves is when I drive past houses and they've still got the Christmas decks nailed to the house all year round. It's like a hangover, isn't it? It's driving me mad, that.
Yeah, it does me.
But come the 1st of December when they do the switch on, they're all smug, aren't they? Oh, the Christmas decks all up.
Got caught flu going up the ladder in the cold.
So all the Christmas joy, but I want to talk about the other side of it, because there is another side of it. Personally, I know so many people, mainly women, mainly people with small children, working full time. I mean, they were frazzled before December. I mean, they were on the edge, just holding on with their, by their fingernails to life before Christmas came around. And now I see them, they're in a permanent state of exhaustion. And on top of that, they feel it's like their job to create this magical experience for the whole family, get the presents right, get the food in. I mean, I don't think anyone is at their best when they're exhausted and under that much stress. No. I think there's so much pressure on people. Do you see that too around you?
Totally, I totally agree. I think the pressure and it's because of the media and everything. I think it's such a hyped up thing now, and everybody expects so much of Christmas, and it's not taking the main thing. To me, it's like it's making sure you're all together and you're having some fun time. But it's just too much pressure put onto people these days, and they just don't want to let anybody down and let the children down and everything. And it is a sad, because it definitely is the social media putting everything into and showing. You see all the different pictures, and everybody's putting on their picture saying how wonderful it is. And it's probably not really true. They're probably having a really crappy time as well. But you're looking at those pictures and trying to make sure your family looks like that too. And it can be very bad for people as well, because it can make them have anxiety and everything, which is quite sad.
Yeah. What about you, Paul? Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I know, like someone just commented, actually, try working for the NHS full time. It's really tiring. And that's and, you imagine the stress. So we've not only got the stress of Christmas, we've got the added stress of COVID and the new variant in this country. And I think there's so much pressure from advertising for people to make this perfect Christmas for their children and for themselves. And a lot of the time, it never meets those expectations for, for the parents, especially. And then you've got all the financial worry in the new year. And I think it's probably an ideal time, isn't it, to teach children the value of things. And, I would rather have a few Christmas presents and go for a nice walk on Christmas Day and spend time with family and loved ones. And I think, it would be a good thing if parents could teach that to their children at Christmas time, that it's not about getting the latest Xbox or whatever costs £300 or £400. And, personally, when I was a kid, I mean, I'm not saying we're from a poor background, but my mum and dad, we lived in a council house. We didn't have loads of money. Yeah. My dad worked, but they had 4 kids at the time. So, I was happy with an annual and a selection box. And I suppose maybe that's what we expected at that age, from that background as a child, but we were made up with those things. And still to this day, I have an absolute love of new books. And it's like, I can go into a bookshop and smell a new book, and it just takes me back to being a Christmas.
I think it's really hard to, it's like the whole family has to be on board. It's not actually just the parents, is it? Because for most families, there's aunts, uncles, grandparents, extended family. And, it's all very well saying, this year we're not doing it. And there's sort of pressure from the extended family. Well, this is the way Christmas should be. And it takes a sort of pre-planning before anyone buys their Christmas of saying, hey, instead of instead of that, how about this? And I think that's the thing. It can't be just like, let's not buy presents this year. It's like, let's not do this in the same way, but let's do this instead, you know, like, and I think it's difficult because people expect the same, don't they, from every Christmas? You know, it goes on. And also with social media, I think that people, it's not so much people are having a crap time and they take a picture and they're like, oh, look at my happy family. It's that they'll capture a photo and they say, you know, a photo says, you know, 1,000 words, don't they? They'll capture a photo, they'll put that on there, and that may be one moment in a day that is just mediocre at best, right? But for other people viewing that, they look at that person's Christmas and they think, I don't feel that way. You know, I don't, we haven't got that. That's not what's happening here. And I think that difference makes us feel crap, to be honest. It's not a great feeling.
No, it's not. It's quite a sad thing. The other thing I was going to say, it's being brave enough to say, right, we're going to change things as well, because probably lots of other family members and might think we can't carry on like this, but nobody dares say anything because nobody wants to upset each other. So it's just if you're feeling like it, just be brave. And if it doesn't, if they're not happy with it, then somebody will probably say something. But a lot of I think the rest of the family will think, crikey, that's it, we're not going to do it this year, so we'll just do just like reduce everything down, and they'll be happier. But they're scared to upset everybody.
Do you know what I wonder? Last Christmas was pretty rubbish. We were in level 4 lockdown. So was Glenn's mum. But here in Northampton, they were level 3. So there was all sorts of different rules applying to different members of the family. And it was, to be honest, it wasn't great. You know, it was the best we could make it at the time. But I think not just for us, but for many other people, that different Christmas that we experienced last year has sort of given people the braveness. It sounds a bit strong, but I think it is brave to sometimes, if a family's done something time and time again, to say, actually, we're going to do something different this year. It's given us that sort of almost like a time to take a breath and think, well, actually, we'd like to do this, this year. So I see some of that going on around me, and I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah. So, I think, wouldn't it be nice? I mean, I'm not saying everyone can afford to go to the theatre, but as a child myself, if my parents said, or some relative said, rather than get you some money in a card or spend this amount, I'll take you to watch a panto. And it could be a local theatre. It's not expensive, is it? Not the big city pantos can be expensive. Or a day out at the zoo or to the circus or something like that would be an experience that I would have remembered for the rest of my life, really. But then would the children be disappointed if they didn't have that to open on Christmas Day?
No. And I can tell you that our grandchildren weren't. So up until 2 years ago, every Christmas, we used to give our kids and our grandkids the choice. We used to say, would you like presents or would you like for us to have a big family holiday? And all of them always chose the holiday. And we used to go to Centre Parks in like the middle of January. It was like the cheapest week. We didn't tell the kids that, but we'd get Christmas over with. Then go to Centre Parks, and we'd have a couple of lodges because there's like 16 of us or whatever. And we used to have a week, Monday to Friday at Centre Parks. Oh, so many gorgeous memories. We had so much fun. When the grandkids started school, this all became a bit tricky, because then we'd have to do a weekend. The price like trebled. It all become really stressful, and we were like, it's not going to work. it's not working. So so we've gone back to giving each family, so each of our 4 children, each of their families, they get some cash and they choose what they want to spend it on. But I think experiences over presents all day long for me. All day long.
I agree.
I'm just I just want to I'm just gonna.
Just while you're looking, Lisa, do you think, did we learn anything from last year? Because one of the saddest things I saw last year, the marina we were in was opposite an old folks' home. And I'd take the dog for a walk and you'd see the grandkids visiting the grandparents, having to stand outside and wave through the window. And I thought, it's just heartbreaking, isn't it? That could be their last Christmas and they're not going to see their grandparents. But did we learn anything from last year, or have we just carried on as normal?
Well, I mean, I'd love to think we did. And as I was saying earlier, I think it's given people that opportunity to maybe do things differently, you know. But have we just slipped back into the normal? I don't know. What do you reckon, Maxine? What are you seeing around you?
I think people are going back into the norm. I don't think there's lots and lots changing. And I mean, I think this year as well, especially because you can all get together, and people are scared though in case that all of a sudden they're going to be told they can't, all meet up and everything like that. So I think people are, all, if they had a big family get-togethers previously, they're doing again this year. I must admit, we're nervous about it because I wouldn't, for the life of me, want to pass it on to any family member. So we're keeping within a bubble basically, and not going to any big busy places because it's just so that they're safe. And I think quite a few people are doing that, but I think the majority seem to be having, from what I've spoken to, they're having parties and everything.
I just want to read this message. I can't get myself into a Christmassy mood as it's way too tropical and humid where I am. Well, the fact that it's tropical, I could understand that, but that's really, I find it really interesting about Christmas spirit. So we'll get on to that in a minute. But I agree, Maxine. I think there's a lot of fear around, in what's going to happen. Are we going into a lockdown? Is it all going to change? Are we going to get to spend those Christmases together? A lot of fear, again, similar to last year, where it's sort of getting in the way, of us relaxing and enjoying. So,
our plans have been messed up a bit because we were supposed to be seeing friends. We got invited for Christmas dinner. They both tested positive for COVID. And the 7th, they changed it from 10 days to 7 days of isolation. The 7th day will be Christmas Eve, but we can't hang on, because if they turn around and say we're still positive, we've no Christmas dinner.
It'll be a cheese sandwich. It'll be a cheese sandwich. It's difficult, isn't it? And I think, I think these things have got in the way of people feeling Christmassy. When you go out to a carol concert or you go to a party and spend time with friends, these things, the joy of these things bring that Christmas spirit. And I think where there's this layer of uncertainty and fear, it just stops. We can't get to that place of relaxing and enjoying.
We can't totally relax. That's the word, isn't it?
It'll be interesting, I think, as we go into next year. What next Christmas will look like, because we all told ourselves, didn't we? This will do. This Christmas will never, hopefully never. But here we are. Let's just have a look.
Harrison's made a good point. Let's face it, Christmas celebrations used to be celebrate the birth of Jesus. That doesn't happen now. It's all about what's in it for everyone. We have a small token present and a Sunday roast.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? I think here's what I think, right? When it comes to the perfect Christmas, I think every family should look at what they absolutely love about Christmas and just do that.
Yeah.
If your family, you know, if you get the joy from being with your wider family and you enjoy all that, you know, do that. If you get the joy from not even cooking a roast dinner because you want to be sat on the sofa watching the TV and, you know, just reading a book, do that. You know, I think it's letting go of what we're expected to think, to feel, to experience, and create that Christmas that, you know, we want.
Yeah.
So,
and I think also, Lisa, I think if people spend less, hopefully they can work less and enjoy some free time at Christmas. I mean, I came to the Boat Bloggers Christmas party and I had to cancel shows, but the cost, you know, I'm lucky because I could afford not to work, but I'd much rather have done that than been working. And it's like, so I've already said next year, let's book some weekends off and go and do the Christmas markets and maybe go to a carol concert, because this year we've just worked most of it again.
Absolutely. And people that work in retail, oh my goodness, they deserve a medal, as they do every
They
year.
need a month off, but they don't.
Yeah, absolutely. But most of them are back in Boxing Day. Anyway, Tiny Living. I'm hopefully getting a narrowboat next year, September, October time to live on. If all goes well, I'll be having Christmas on the canals. I can't wait to make new friends. Oh, you certainly will on the canals. You certainly will. So, Maxine, I know you have experienced tremendous, you know, grief, and I want to talk about that at Christmas time, because it's, you know, for some of us, you know, we're spending Christmas knowing it's going to be the last Christmas that we have with, you know, a loved one. For some have recently lost a loved one, and for some, every single Christmas brings back memories of family members that aren't there. How do you get through it, do you reckon?
The way I've got through it is I've just done everything completely different to what we used to how our Christmas used to be. And I think that's when, because you start new ways of enjoying Christmas, because if you do it the same way as you used to do when the person that you've lost was there, it just keeps bringing that memory, and you have that, you miss that person even more so. So it's starting new memories and doing new ways. And I mean, ours has been really calmed down because it was always centered around Liz, because she was the only child in the family at the time. So it's just completely changed that. And I think it's not just when you lose a family member, it can be a friend that you spend time with and everything. And Christmas, just because it's a family time, it brings back those memories. And people just need, if they need time out, go for a walk and go and just say to somebody, look, I just need to go and have some time out by myself. And people need to, you know, let people do that as well, because not everybody's going to be happy on Christmas Day. They're going to bring back memories that they've got of that particular person that they've lost, or that they used to see regularly, and things like that. So I think it's being kind to yourself, and if you need some time out, just take it. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks around you or anything like that, but just do it for yourself. And that is really, really important, because it can be a very difficult time. And I talk about Liz all the time. And Christmas Day, we'll talk about it. Fun things that she used to do, because she was a pain in the arse at Christmas and spoilt, and so so we bring up things that we remember and everything like that. And so talk about them. If it helps you, do it. Don't think about everybody else, just think of yourself on that day, because you have to be selfish sometimes just to make sure you're feeling okay. So
thanks for that. Thanks for sharing that, Maxine. I think that whole thing of creating something new is great, and it must be difficult when you start to create, you know, to find your groove, if you like, to find those new traditions, those new things because it's the little things that give our life meaning, isn't it? You know, it's when a routine, when we do it over and over again, it becomes a ritual. And that's where the richness in life is, isn't it? In those rituals. I mean, not just at Christmas, in you know, throughout our days. This is why, you know, I like to take things from routine to rituals because it just gives a deeper, richer experience. But it's not as easy as clicking your fingers. Oh, these are going to be our new rituals now. This is the way it's going to go. This has got meaning now. Doesn't happen overnight, does it?
No,
And with Christmas, it may take several years to find that groove. Do you think? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think the main thing is people not to beat themselves up if they are having a sad day. Don't feel guilty about it or anything like that. And, you know, just take it as it comes. And that's a really, you know, just don't, because the first few Christmases are really, really tough. And they may continue to be because it depends how you are and the way you grieve, sort of thing. I don't find it difficult Christmas anymore because that's the way I am. It's nearly 12 years now since I lost Liz, but I know somebody, if it's something very, very new for that person, they've just got to be kind to themselves and just don't get yourself upset because you're not feeling Christmassy. You've got every right to feel how you want to on that day and just take the day and do what you want on that day.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Thanks, Maxine. That for me really, you know, sums up that although Christmas is this joyous time, to be honest, a lot of people, you know, even if they haven't lost somebody, you know, recently, so much expectation, so much of ourselves wanting it to be a wonderful Christmas. I mean, how, you know, I can say I've had Christmases where I've just been like, oh, I wanted something, not a present. I wanted it to be something, and it wasn't that at all. And for that's for me the hardest because it leaves an empty feeling. It feels that, you know, and that's a horrible feeling. So by focusing on what is important to you and your family, and who cares if it's different next year or the year after or the year after. So
we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves because I think that's the biggest thing. We put so much pressure on ourselves to deliver what we've got in our head, and it probably would be the most fantastic day, but if something just is not exactly how you wanted it or how you'd seen it in your head, you start beating yourself up, which you shouldn't. You just go with the flow and it'll be what it will be, and everybody will love it. It's yourself that gets uptight about things.
I know. And to be honest, it's down to us. I don't, you know, this is the way I see it myself, to choose the way I want to show up Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It's down to me. I think, well, look, if I want a great day, I choose to have a great day. If I start feeling like, you know, what for whatever reason, well, this is not, you know, this isn't, that's me. I'm making that choice. So so
you don't have a word to yourself.
I do often.
I do. Right, go for a walk, come back and smile.
Well, it's funny you should say, Lisa, sorry, that the build up to Christmas, like you said, because there's not that expectation to enjoy that one day supposed to be magical. A bit like New Year's Eve, because to me, New Year's Eve is a bit of a non-event, isn't it? Just like, you'll get around with friends and have a drink. You always expect it to be absolutely amazing. It's just like, Happy New Year. And
that's it. Happy New Year. It's bedtime yet.
Who's driving?
Jackie says that she can't see her youngest son and family as he's just had COVID and one of the grandchildren has got COVID, but they'll have Alexa, so they'll be together through tech. So I hope you have a great time, Jackie, you know, whatever this year brings. So that's tomorrow will be a better day, says Alan. Wonderful. Well, have we talked on for ages? Oh, I think we have, haven't we? Have we like covered the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Christmas?
We have, but can I just mention this story because it's quick and it's really funny?
Go.
We went to Anthony's mum's for Christmas, and Anthony's mum, Anthony's from a family of 5, and all the brothers turn up with their family and their kids, and it's hectic, but it's nice. And this one Christmas, we said to Anthony's sister-in-law, "What are you having for Christmas dinner?" She said, "I'm having a bird in a bird." Well, they'd only just come out. So we said, "What's a bird in a bird?" And she said, "You know, turkey, chicken, and ferret." And you went, ferret? And her husband said, she means bleeding pheasant. Then, to make it even funnier, she said, oh, I knew it began with F. And that's entertained as every Christmas, that is.
Yeah, every year. You think, I wonder if ferrets are on special this year. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh, man. However, whatever you do this Christmas, I wish you a most wonderful time. I hope you have the space, the time, the energy to have a wonderful time. So, yeah, and everybody who's joined us today, thank you and happy Christmas.
Yeah,
so,
and happy holidays to those that don't celebrate Christmas.
Yes, yeah, actually, I'm rubbish at doing that, Paul. I'm right in the right Christmas zone. I'm like, oh yeah, happy holidays. Yeah. Happy. Let's just happy every day.
Smiling happy.
Yeah. So in the new year, we're going to be back, aren't we? We're going to be back.
Yeah.
We're not sure exactly when, because Paul's got a holiday booked and we're all keeping our fingers crossed that he actually gets to go on it. So we'll be back in the new year. It may not be for the first couple of weeks, but we'll keep everyone updated and let you know when the next chat's going to be. So that's it. Happy Christmas and happy new year. And we'll see you in January.
Merry Christmas. We've loved it. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.